One day after parting ways with his entire impeachment defense team, former President Trump has hired a new set of lawyers.
If you're going into an impeachment trial, you don't want to have to be changing up your lawyers so close to when the trial begins.
What it tells you is there was a difference in terms of not just necessarily strategy, but if a defense lawyer believes he is being made to make an argument that is either a lie or dangerous or unethical, that's where you see resignations like this.
Wait, Donald Trump wanted his lawyers to lie or do something unethical?
The body of evidence for the charges of leading an insurrection is out there and known.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol. You'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength and you have to be strong.
I think the wild card in this is whether Donald Trump does insist on trying to make his case for election fraud, which, if he does, will make senators very, very nervous.
And that's because most Senate Republicans have already made it clear they will agree to acquit Donald Trump if his argument is that it is unconstitutional to conduct an impeachment trial of a president who is no longer in office. But by all accounts, Donald Trump does not want to focus on that or try to make the argument that somehow his actions on January the 6th did not rise to the level of incitement. Instead, Donald Trump wants to make the impeachment trial a referendum on his claims that the 2020 election was stolen from him. Hello, everybody. I'm David Shuster, and thanks for joining us. According to multiple reports, President Trump's impeachment team will try to argue the bogus claims of election fraud. These are claims that have already been rejected by more than 60 different U.S. courts. President Trump's first 5 attorneys in the second impeachment round, well, they decided they couldn't go there, so they're gone. The next 2 attorneys have apparently agreed to terms with Donald Trump about the primary focus of his argument, and it will amount to an affirmative defense of the actions on January the 6th.
A lot of people packed onto steps now. They have pushed back the barricade, the physical barricade that was initially down here.
Donald Trump's lawyers will be arguing he is not guilty, not because he didn't incite the insurrection, but rather because the incitement and the insurrection were justified. In the legal world, it is known as a jury nullification defense. The argument goes something like this. Well, that bank was so terrible, and they were so awful to their customers, they deserved to be robbed. It's a very controversial defense, and it is also one fraught with risk. And the irony is that some of the people closest to Donald Trump have been urging him, begging him not to go there. Follow what the Senate has telegraphed. The Senate had a recent vote in which 45 of the 50 Republican senators said that they would agree that it is unconstitutional to try a president who is no longer in office. One other item that may have been in play with the original 5 lawyers, and that is they had not yet been paid by Donald Trump or reached any sort of letter of intent. And by the way, Donald Trump has a lengthy record of fighting his legal bills and making it difficult for lawyers to collect. In any case, President Trump's new lawyers are an interesting choice. Bruce Castor was a DA in Pennsylvania who declined to prosecute Bill Cosby. Another prosecutor did take up the Cosby case. Cosby was eventually convicted of sexual assault and sent to prison. David Schoen, the other Trump lawyer now, he told the Atlanta Jewish-Times last September, I represented all sorts of reputed mobster figures, alleged head of Russian mafia in this country, Israeli mafia, and 2 Italian mafia bosses. Mafia bosses. Interesting.
His apparent desire to interject the wild card of trying to make his unmakeable election fraud case is a totally new dimension.
Again, a sure thing for Donald Trump a few days ago, the idea that the Republicans in the Senate would never convict him, well, that now perhaps becomes a little bit more dicey, and certainly a lot of pressure is now going to be brought to bear on those Republicans in the Senate who will be part of Donald Trump's jury.